So we just did Longsword versus Saber, and it was actually kind of surprising.
Yeah.
I kind of assumed the Longsword was gonna have more teeth.
I thought so too. It feels like when the hand shot isn't an option, the longsword's always punching up because our effective range is still less.
Because you've got your body squared and I'm bladed, and my hand is protected.
I can't target your hand in any way.
I effectively have more range, and I can pick off the hands.
This also cuts about, it can work in Des so much faster because it whips so much faster.
Because it's a saber, it cuts really effectively. I would say, and this is going to be something maybe we test later, this is a dueling saber, dueling test. A trooper weight saber, I'm not sure I'd want to do against a longsword because it's not quite as fast.
It also has less hand
protection,
which is, I think that's the biggest deciding factor on why the longsword is working from behind.
If this was a Polish saber, for instance, I wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah, I
It'd
agree.
be basically a messer with a curve. So with that said, what did you feel when you were fencing with that?
The big shock to me is that when I'm facing the longsword, I don't feel like you have any effective threats that I can't deal with. Whereas if we swap, my hands are so open. If I tried and bait you in, my hands are so open the whole time. I can't work very much.
Something that I noticed between this one and last one is you have much more experience with two-handed weapons, and I had much more experience with one-handed weapons. And I thought that might be a factor. Like maybe it would play in so that when I was fencing you with a one-handed, it would be like a lot different. It is different. I did get you more when you're doing one-handed, but not by as much as we would have thought.
Yeah, I would expect. I agree. I had the same thought that when we swapped, that it would still favor you more, and that we aren't seeing that, even though I have less experience with single-handed swords.
Similarly to what you said, because I am more experienced with one-handed weapons and I am less experienced with two-handed weapons, I thought that maybe you wouldn't get me quite as much. When you had the rapier and I had the longsword, I thought that perhaps I would survive more, but it was about the same.
Even then,
I was still getting tagged all the time.
The one-handed weapon is edging out more often when either of us are using it, which wasn't what I was expecting. I think the complex hand protection is really the deciding factor.
Yeah, given the fact, I think what's going to happen is this is going to really come down to what is it going to do against non-complex hand protection. I think it's going to be the big deal.
Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to effective range, and if I can't target your hands, your effective range is so much more than mine. If I can target your hands, then it'll be a whole different game.
If you like this video or any of our other videos, please consider supporting our channel on Patreon. Support from viewers like you is incredibly important. It takes a lot of time, money, and effort to produce content like this, and we're able to do so because of the viewers like the ones you're seeing on the screen. So please consider helping us out.